In the headlines, INEC meets 18 political parties, presents voter register. President Buhari insists Boko Haram a plot to destabilize Nigeria. And on the international scene, Uganda declares end of Ebola outbreak after 4 months. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. Now the news in detail. Independent National Electoral Commission has presented voters' register to the 18 political parties ahead of the Presidential and National Assembly, as well as Governorship and States Assembly elections scheduled to hold on February 25th and the 11th of March this year. Noel Sampson has more.
It continues voters' registration exercise to focus attention on the forthcoming elections. Total registered voters now rose to 93,469,008. The Commission said female registered voters are 44,414,846, representing 47.5%, while male registered voters are 49,054,162, which is 52.5% of the voting population.
The distribution by age group shows that 37,060,339, or 39.65%, are youth between the ages of 18 and 34. 33,413,591, representing 35.75%, are middle-aged persons between the ages of 35 and 49. 17,700,270, representing 18.94%, are elderly voters between the ages of 50 and 69, while 5,294,748, representing 5.66%, are senior citizens aged 70 and above. In terms of occupational distribution, students constitute the largest category with 26,027,481 voters, representing 27.8% of the total.
INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakub seized the opportunity to dismiss reports of planned postponement or cancellation of the coming elections.
The repeated assurance by the security agencies for the adequate protection of personnel, materials, and processes also reinforces our determination to proceed. The 2023 general election will hold as scheduled.
Political parties reassure the Commission of the full support in order to have a free, fair, and credible elections.
We have to put the country forward. We don't put the country under intense pressure that this democracy, making that the world to look as if there's, the democracy will not succeed, or this election there will be problem. We are not seeing any problem. Yet people will attempt to frustrate it, but we should please see that we work together to see that we own this country.
The electoral umpire restates commitment to its critical stakeholders of conducting a free, fair, and credible election. Noel Sampson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Ahead of the 2023 general elections, eligible voters in Jos, the Plateau State capital, expressed worry over missing PVCs. The eligible voters said they have been visiting the centers designated for the collection of the PVCs, but were unable to collect them as the PVCs were not available. Ado Musa, who visited some of the ward registration centers, reports that some of the centers were deserted while some were filled with people waiting to collect the PVCs. The report.
Community leaders at the ward coalition centers of Gangere and Islamia in Jos Metropolis said the turnout of eligible voters coming to pick their PVCs was low. While some coalition centers were deserted, some were congested with people complaining about missing PVCs and the slow pace of the exercise. I came to pick my PVC, but I wasn't able to collect. They told me they haven't seen mine. This is my 5th time of coming here, and yet I haven't succeeded. I could not get mine and that of my 2 children. They will always tell me to return tomorrow, but nothing will change. I am tired of coming. I came to collect my PVC, but I was told that it is not available. They told me that some PVCs were yet to be brought. They asked me to check again if mine will be available. I will come back again because I really want the PVC. It is very, very important. I'm here to get my PVC, but I'm yet to collect it. Those who are responsible for the distribution of the cards are making the process difficult, and that is why we are finding it difficult to collect the cards. If they had organized the place, everything will be easy. Despite these issues, voters hope that INEC will be able to locate and distribute all missing PVCs before the closing date of the exercise. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
A high court in Yola, presided over by Justice Muhammad Danladi, has stopped Senator Ishaku Abo as the APC senatorial candidate for Adamawa North Senatorial Zone for this year's election. The court stopped the senator on the ground that he was expelled from the party by his ward in Mubi North local government area of Adamawa. Justice Danladi held that the senator and APC are bound by the resolution of the All Progressives Congress Mubi North Local Government Chapter's executive expelling him from the party on the 7th of October 2022. The court also averred that Senator Abo is not entitled to enjoy any right or privilege accorded to APC members. It could be recalled that Mubi North Local Government Executive of the party had on the 7th of October 2022 approved the expulsion of the senator as recommended by the party's disciplinary committee. Justice Danladi held that the plaintiff's counsel has proved beyond doubt and that the court is satisfied with the procedure followed by the party, saying that the senator was accorded the opportunity to defend himself but deliberately refused to do so. Two APC members, Abdullahi Suleiman and Yusha'u Usman of Kolere and Sabanlai wards, Mubi North local government area respectively, sued the senator and sought for an interpretation regarding his status in APC. Away from that story, President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday said Boko Haram was a fraudulent plot to destroy Nigeria. The president stated this while receiving the executive members of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria at the State House in Abuja. He faulted the ideology of the terrorist group, which barred people from seeking knowledge, thereby affecting the intellectual growth of citizens. President Buhari said the gains recorded in security would be further consolidated and more attention given to the economy before handing over on May 29, 2023. On the economy, the president said creditors had full confidence in Nigeria with the capacity to utilize resources and repay loans before the approvals were granted. In his remarks, the leader of the delegation and president of the CBCN, Most Reverend Lucius Iwejuru Ugoji, commended the president for reforms in the electoral system, making it more stable and fair, particularly the signing of the electoral bill into law. Now on security, at least 5 suspected bandits who have been terrorizing communities in Al-Kaleri local government area of Bauchi State have been arrested by vigilantes in the state. The arrest follows sustained onslaught against the activities of bandits and kidnappers in the area. The caretaker committee chairman of the council, Bala Ibrahim Al-Kaleri, announced the arrest of the suspected kidnappers at Mansur village of Gwana district. According to a statement from the council's caretaker committee chairman, the suspects were apprehended during a special patrol by joint vigilante groups on the instruction of the council. He commended members of the vigilantes for securing towns and villages and assured that the council would continue to provide them with the necessary support to complement the efforts of the state government in protecting lives and property. Gunmen have killed 4 persons in the Eziani community, Ihiala local government area of Anambra State. The gunmen were said to have stormed the community at Nzomiwu Street on Tuesday and started shooting into the air, killing the victims comprising 3 males and a pregnant female. Although the motive for the attack is yet to be ascertained, eyewitnesses say the gunmen fled the scene after killing the victims. The spokesman of the Anambra State Police Command, Tochukwu Ikenga, confirmed the attack in a statement. Ikenga said the bodies of the victims had been deposited at the mortuary, adding that the police have launched an investigation into the incident. Still on security, bandits in Zamfara State have released Colonel Rabiu Garba Yendoto, retired, and his children after the payment of 10 million naira ransom. Speaking to a Trust TV reporter on telephone shortly after the release, the retired colonel said the bandits were given 10 million naira instead of the 5 million earlier mentioned. He thanked all those who contributed to his release. The retired colonel and his 2 children were abducted by bandits along Gusau Tafe Road when he was returning to his village some days back. The President's Court of Appeal Justice Monica Dongbang Mensem has warned Election Petition Tribunal secretaries to resist little gratifications in the course of discharging their duties. The President's Court of Appeal gave the warning at the opening of a 2-day workshop, a training workshop on capacity building for secretaries and other support staffs of the EPT. The report.
According to the Court of Appeal President, the training with the theme Challenges Arising from Election Tribunal and the Way Forward is in anticipation of the general election coming up in a few weeks.
If you are not out to serve the nation, please don't accept this assignment when you are posted. And we are going to be watching you closely.
The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, who was represented by May Agbamuche Mbu, pledged the Commission's continued support to the tribunal.
The Registry of an Election Petition Tribunal is the administrative hub of election petition proceedings. It is of utmost importance, therefore, that you pay close attention to the enabling laws which empower you in the performance of your duties.
Country Director, International Foundation for Electoral Systems, Serai Jah, commended the initiative.
As described already, the unique roles played by the EPT registry staff cannot be overemphasized. They contribute greatly to the smooth running of the EPTs, thereby increasing the credibility and integrity of the court in resolving elections dispute.
Deputy Chief Registrar, Election Petition Tribunal, Kabiru Akombi, said a software had been developed for EPT for effective case management.
What you have mentioned, my lord, is the development of an Election Petition Tribunal case management. We had the introduction of a case management software. Here you'll be taught how the software works. This will be the first of its kind.
The Court of Appeal is the penultimate court empowered to establish such tribunals, with the registries open 7 days before the election. The registry is saddled with the administrative responsibilities of the tribunal and is headed by the secretary, who is the principal administrative staff.
Nigerians have called on the federal government to look into the Central Bank of Nigeria's new cash withdrawal policy for additional reviews as mixed reactions continue to trail the policy. Trust TV's Kabir Lawal examines the economic hardship faced by these Nigerians and POS operators. The report.
Central Bank of Nigeria recently raised the cash withdrawal limit set for individuals and corporate organizations to 500,000 naira and 5 million naira respectively. However, since the review, cross-section of Nigerians and POS operators have vocalized their concerns over the increase in the charges and limits of withdrawals.
Oh, it affected us. If government made any policy today, I want you to understand one thing. It's the masses. You understand? It's the masses that always affect. It affected us in so many ways. For instance, this issue of even the people that they are collecting 100, 200, they are the one that felt that really affects.
Before, customers were patronizing us in terms of withdrawing in a huge amount, but now as the police now employ customers despite the fact they are allowed to withdraw using POS more than 100,000, but the bank is 100,000 naira only. Now they are no more coming to withdraw from us because we, the POS, we are getting money through the bank, which we are not withdrawing more than 100,000.
This 100,000, if you went to the bank from the ATM, if you want to withdraw money, from that 100,000, 5% is their charges, which almost all the customers are complaining. And we, the POS, we are not okay with it. It affects us a lot.
POS operators said the policy has affected their businesses negatively as customers cannot withdraw large amounts like before.
It affects everybody from the top, right? It's not just one person, right? It begins like a circle. And then at the end, it's the people at the grassroots that suffers it. Because you see that more money salaries are not increased. So the person at the bottom, we keep giving and giving, and then there'll be nothing.
Most of the money that is generated from the government, we are the ones even generating it from them. We, like, our social welfare is not even included in the major things we are meant to be getting from what we are meant to be getting from the government.
Observers are of the view that the intervention of the Apex Bank with PEC's cash withdrawal limit can regulate the amount of cash outside the banking system and can also discourage promoters of vote buying. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. We'll be right back after the break.
Daily Trust presents 20th Daily Trust Dialogue. Theme: Interrogating the 2023 Presidential Agenda. Panelists: Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika, former Chairman, First Bank of Nigeria. Professor Jibrin Ibrahim, Professor of Political Science and member of the Board of the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD. Dr. Yetunde Anibaba, Lecturer, Analysis of Business Problems, Lagos Business School. Dr. Eugene Enahoro, Human Capacity Development Specialist and CEO, Heltoni Services Limited. Date: Thursday, 25th January 2023. Time: 10 a.m. Venue: NAF Conference Center and Suites, Gwarimpa Expressway, near Next Shopping Mall, Kado, Abuja. For sponsorship and branding participation, contact 081 00 49 1948, 081 65 32 0660, or 080 33 92 8902. The event will be broadcast live on Trust TV.
That's great. It's good to see you.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
Inherited a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secure are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Or really, if you look at England squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Trust News Update, a recap of our top stories. We told you that INEC meets 18 political parties, presents a voter register. You also heard that President Buhari insists Boko Haram a plot to destabilize Nigeria. Moving to more stories, mother of the 9-year-old Primary 1 pupil, Muhammad Jawad, killed by stray bullet allegedly fired by a police officer in Katsina, is said to be suffering from psychological trauma. Abdullahi Ahmadi meets the mother of the deceased, Shafa'atu Bashir, at her residence where she shares her ordeal since the incident occurred almost a week ago. His report.
Shafa'atu Bashir says since the unfortunate event that led to the killing of her child, she has been suffering from high blood pressure, weakness, and her condition is getting worse by the day. The mother said Jawad is a promising child whose ambition to be a gallant military officer was cut short by a stray bullet allegedly fired by a police operative. According to her, Jawad's ambition was to be a senior military officer to help in instilling discipline and restore peace and tranquility in the country he holds so dear. Shafa'atu could not hold back tears, explaining how it was reported to her that police operatives have killed her child.
If I tell you how and what I am feeling right now, I'm lying. I have been sick, and my husband is battling to get me diagnosed in hospitals. I have not eaten for almost 7 days now. They killed my child, whose desire was to be a military officer.
The family, she said, received series of invitations from the Police Criminal Investigation Department in Katsina over the incident. Some residents of the area where the incident happened blame the police operatives for unprofessional conduct, which led to the killing of Jawad and inflicting gunshot injuries on 3 others.
On that fateful day, we were around when the DJ was performing at a wedding event. To be honest, there was nothing that could warrant the presence of any security agents because everything was going smoothly until the police officer arrived. He threatened everyone here, and that was how the problem started. There was no attempt by anybody to drag with the police officer. It is a lie that someone attempted to disarm the police.
Right activists and members of civil society organizations in the state have vowed to ensure justice against the little boy. Abdullahi Ismail, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Police operatives in Katsina have busted a 3-man syndicate of suspected kidnappers who came to collect ransom in Katsina City. The suspected kidnappers were apprehended Tuesday evening when they arrived Katsina from Kano. Abdullahi Ahmadi has details.
The police also succeeded in rescuing the kidnapped victim Fatima Abubakar unhurt.
Su wane ne suka dauke ki?
Abdul.
To ya suka ga miki lokacin da za su dauke ki?
Aka suka ce wai mama suna Katsina wai za su kai ni Katsina.
The person who organized this kidnapping is almost a cousin. I can say a cousin to the victim. He organized this crime from Kano, Basharawa, where he lured this young girl. Her name is Fatima Abubakar, 6 years old.
The police public relations officer SP Gambo Isa said the victim Fatima Abubakar was kidnapped from Bacharawa quarters in Kano and taken to Katsina. The kidnappers demanded 2 million naira as ransom.
And in the course of investigation, we busted the syndicate. We've arrested all the 3 suspects that are here. Abdurazak Ibrahim alias Popular, 19 years of Bacharawa quarters. Aliyu Salisu alias Shilo, age 19 years of Sabuwar Ungwa quarters Katsina. And Muhammad Ibrahim alias Zalamo, 19 years of Gidandawa quarters Katsina.
According to the police, the principal suspect Aliyu Salisu alias Chilo was caught at the point of receiving the 2 million naira ransom. The police command advised parents to be wary of the company their children keep to ensure that they don't get into the wrong group. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Away from Nigeria, Uganda on Wednesday declared an end to an Ebola virus outbreak that emerged almost 4 months ago and claimed 55 lives. Health Minister Jane Ruth Acheng disclosed this at a ceremony in the central district of Mubende, where the disease was first detected in September. The move was also confirmed in a statement issued by the World Health Organization. The WHO commended Uganda for putting a swift end to the Ebola outbreak by ramping up key control measures such as surveillance, contact tracing, and infection prevention and control. It said Uganda's outbreak was caused by the Sudan Ebola virus, one of 6 species of the Ebola virus for which no vaccines have yet been approved. And with this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.